Hello, everyone. My name is Julio Guerrero. I'm going to be the instructor for this course, 2067 Calc 1. I know I didn't put up an introductory video. I know that page was blank. I thought it was going to be all right, but then I was like, no, this is not going to work. And then by the time I got around to it, I was like, yeah, let me just make the announcement video. Say, okay, so this is going to double up as my introduction to you guys and the announcement for week 2. Okay, I'll usually try to make these kind of videos once a week, so I'll probably post them on Fridays so that people can see it over the weekend, or once you get back to the class on Monday, you'll be able to look at them then. Okay. I went through a lot of the orientation quizzes, and I saw some questions there, and I wanted to address those first. But before I do that, okay, just in case, just for this video, if you hear banging and scraping and loud knocks, I'm getting my roof done. So they're up there with the nail gun, you know, pat, 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 and slam and this and that. So just keep that in mind. If anything, you can reply to or post questions down below this announcement, and I'll get to them by next week. Okay. All right. So the five things that I want to cover here are: 1, the quick check groups; 2, calculators; 3, the late passes for online homeworks; 4, the expectation for participation and communication; and 5, extra credit opportunities. Okay, so let me start with the first one, quick check groups. I believe that was one of the pages that wasn't updated at the very beginning of the course. It's since been updated, so you can go ahead and check your quick check group there. Again, if you guys read through the syllabus, right, you're only required to do the problem for your quick check group. Does that make sense? So if you're in quick check group 3, you only have to do the third ones. Everyone that says 3, or since 3 is an odd number, sometimes I just have 2, just an odd and an even. That's fine. Okay. You don't have to do them all. Okay. Everybody else is going to be working on their own quick check problems. By the end of the time that we have for quick checks, everybody will have the answers to all 4 quick checks, right? But you're only responsible for the work for one of them. Okay. But that's been updated, so just make sure you go back to the orientation module and check which quick check group you're in. Okay. And I'll get to more of the quick check stuff in a second when we get to item 4, participation and communication. Okay. Second item, calculators. Somebody asked if you do need a TI-84 calculator. What you're going to see in the entirety of the classes, I am going to be concentrating exclusively and using exclusively Desmos, which you can use on any computer screen, and it works on your phone as well. So you don't have to buy a TI-84. I put it out there just in case that's what you're most comfortable with. So if you feel like you need a TI-84, then go ahead and get one, right? But more to the point, TI-84 costs money. Desmos, if you have a smartphone, is free. Okay. So yeah. Okay. If you need to check one out, the math lab, both at Brentwood and at Pittsburgh, they do have calculators to check out while you're in the math lab. So you won't be able to take them home, right? But while you're studying there, if you do decide to study there, you can go ahead and use them there, and you can check them out. Okay. That's 2. 3, late passes for online homework. So hopefully some of you guys have seen there, for every section that we're going to cover this semester, there are 3 portions, okay, for nearly all of them. There's a handful that don't have all of them, but for nearly all of them, there's 3 parts to every section. There's your quick check, your online homework, and your lecture questions, okay? For the online homework, this is homework that you get sort of immediate responses on, okay? And they're videos. I try to choose the the problems that have videos attached to them, okay? For those assignments, for the online homeworks, okay, there are these things called late passes. Now, The due dates that are on the course calendar, they are, I have to give it a due date. I have to give it a due date, right? So I give it one, and they're usually, like in terms of due dates, they're about a week apart. So if I assign something, right, if I expect you to do something for a week, then the due date for it will be next week. Okay, so for example, class has already started, right? Section 2.2 and 2.5 is going to be due this coming Monday. So my thought here is that this last week that passed, you guys were doing 2.2 and 2.5. Okay. Section 2.3, right, is due on Thursday, right? So that means this last week, you should have been doing 2.3, okay? So things like that, okay? Now, in terms of late passes, I like to use the due dates that are on the calendar as sort of satisfactory progress, right, if you will. And that goes for these for the due dates for the homework as well. And the way that I'm making sure that people at least try to maintain a pace is through the late pass. Okay. So what the late passes do is you don't have to ask me for them. You can automatically cash one in once the due dates pass. So what it does is once you cash one in, it'll extend the due date for you, right, an entire week, an entire 7 days. Okay. So if you miss an assignment due date, right? You don't, like I said, you don't have to ask me. You can just go ahead and cash a late pass in, and it'll extend your due date for one more week. Okay. Now this brings up a good sort of, I guess, best practice for everybody. It's really good to use one late pass per one assignment. Okay. So my suggestion to you all is, get as much of the homework done, right? Get as much of the homework done as possible, right? And right when the late pass happens, or right when the due date passes, use the late pass. Okay, that way you are using basically one late pass per one assignment. Okay, and the reason why is because if you start using letting the due dates pass farther along, right, then you'll get charged more late passes. So if an assignment due date was 3 weeks ago, it'll charge you 3 late passes to extend the due date. Now, you can do that, right? But you're using 3 late passes per one assignment. One concern I would have if you do that is that means you let this thing, drag on for 3 weeks, right? And 2, right, you're using up late passes for one assignment, right, when you could have used up 3 late passes for 3 assignments if you had done them. You see what I'm saying? Right? Okay. So this is all in an effort to sort of keep people on pace. I do, like some people had pointed out, procrastination is hard to get over, right? It's going to happen, right? There are going to be days that you're going to be like, no, I can't do this today. That's fine, right? Don't let it drag on too long. All right. So that's it for late passes online homework. The 2 last ones are sort of semi-related. Expectations of participation and communication. Okay. Expectation of communication, for both of them, I really don't have any, right? And the reason why is in large part, this is an entirely online course, right? I'm not making anybody come to a specific location to see everybody else, right? So this class is really sort of a lot now, right? Based off of your effort, right? And your presence in the class. With that being said, though, right? In terms of participation, okay? The only real expectation that I have is at least graded, something that I will be looking at, something that I will be evaluating, right, is your quick checks, right? That's the thing that I'm really going to be sort of on, okay? And I think hopefully that everybody, since you guys all read the syllabus, hopefully, the quick checks really are for you to get to try the problem, okay? And hence the reason why my grading structure for those is, like it says in the syllabus, So long as you give me a good faith effort toward a solution to the problem, right, you'll get full points, okay? Even if it is incorrect, okay? So what I try to tell everybody, right, is, when you're watching the videos, right, you hit the quick check, sit down and try this out for a good 15, 20 minutes. I know you can grab these problems, throw it at chegg.com, throw it at ChatGPT, throw it at whatever else, right? Mathway.com. You can do this, right? But that's not the point, right? That is really using AI to sort of circumvent the learning process, right? I want you to sit down, right? Look at the example that I just provided. Look at other examples, right? And try to do the problem. Try it. Try it yourself, right? Just with your own calculator and your own noggin, how far can you get? Okay. If it ends up being incorrect, that's fine. If it looks incorrect to you, if it feels incorrect to you, that is also fine, right? I want you to attempt it. Okay. Collectively, right? Within your quick check groups, you have 8, 9 other people doing the exact same problem that you are. Okay, so eventually, right? Even if you do mess it up, right? Within your collective group, you'll all get the right answer. Okay, and this is just for one quick check group, yours, right? But this is going on with 2, 3, 4 other quick check groups. Okay. And they are also getting the same thing. At the end, we'll get some correct answers, and you'll see them on the notes. Okay. I think that is it in terms of participation and communication. If there's anything else that needs to be clarified, ask the questions down below. Okay. And then the last one, extra credit opportunities. Like I said in just now, maybe like a couple minutes ago, right? The due dates that I am going to be, that I put up on the Canvas page, right? They're more sort of satisfactory progress, okay? They are, and this has got to be something that, you guys as calculus students are gonna have to realize, something that any STEM student has to pick up. If something feels behind, right, you got to catch up, right? So those due dates that I have on Canvas, they're more general rough guidelines, okay? You can automatically extend the due date for your online homeworks, right? The quick checks, I don't, and this is the other thing, the quick checks and the lecture questions, I don't grade directly after the due date. I tend to let a couple days pass, maybe 3 or 4. Sometimes I just let it run off to the weekend. That gives everyone more than enough grace to turn in the online homework, the online portions of the class. And because I do that, right, I don't allow extra credit opportunities in the class. Okay, I'd rather, this is the thing that I would usually say, right? I'm allowing a lot of stuff to be turned in much later. Okay, not too much later, but later, right? That's one. And 2, the material that I'm really covering in the course is exactly what you need for Calculus 1, right, to finish Calculus 1, and what you need to move on to Calc 2, right? So the thing that I usually tell everybody is, I need you to do the regular credit first before I start giving out extra credit. And, I much rather you get the regular credit solid, right, than allow extra credit later. Right? Okay. So yeah, just keep in mind of that, right? That in terms of things to turn in, it's not a fixed thing. Okay. I do have this one rule though, that once I do grade something, right, that is it. I'm not going to go back and look it over unless it's something absolutely inevitable. Okay. Once it's graded, it is graded. I am not going to change the grade. Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for now. If there's any questions, if you've got any other concerns, I am the math department chair starting this semester. So chances are I will be at the Pittsburgh campus nearly every day. If you guys have checked the Canvas page, I put my semester schedule up so you know where to find me every day. Usually, for the most part, I will be in the tutoring center at the Pittsburgh campus around what 11:30, 1:30, 12 to 2 every day, Monday through Thursday. And if you guys looked at the semester weekly schedule for myself, Fridays I'm devoting entirely for this class. So you'll see a fair amount of updates happening on Fridays, okay, and a fair amount of grading happening on Fridays, okay. Um, yeah, I think that is it. That's all my notes. If you have any questions, write them down below. And I hope to see you guys around campus or online. Sound good? Okay. Happy studying.